What's up, guys? This is the Gospel According to Mark with a C. He is I, and I am he. Just taking some time to tell you exactly what's on my mind. Thank you for joining me once again, my friends. I hope all is well with you guys this weekend. I got a chance to see Michael, the Michael Jackson biopic, and this was directed by Training Day director Antoine Fuqua, and it stars Jafar Jackson as Michael Jackson. Jafar Jackson is, in fact, Michael Jackson's nephew, Jermaine's son, and also it stars Coleman Domingo as Joseph Jackson. Boo! All right, listen. Let me just start off by saying this. There is a popular thought that goes, you should never meet your heroes, right? Because you'll just be disappointed. Well, this movie, I was thinking about this. This movie takes that concept and says, what if you meet your hero and he's exactly how you thought he would be? You'd be happy. You'd be over the moon with yourself. You'd be so happy. And this movie assumes that. I know a lot of people were looking for a look behind the curtain. What's this guy really like? He couldn't have possibly been like that in real life. Well, this movie says, yeah, he pretty much was. And you know what? A lot of us, we find this to be refreshing in this age of subverting expectations. You know, a lot of us got burned by, for example, The Last Jedi. You take a mythological, legendary hero like Luke Skywalker, and you deconstruct him and turn him into something of a jerk, right? Michael doesn't do that. And Michael Jackson is something of a mythological, legendary figure, a character. And we love him that way. So it presents him that way. It doesn't give us the jerk behind the legend. It gives us the legend, period. You know what I mean? And I gotta say, Jafar Jackson, he's almost possessed. He's so good in this role as his uncle. This was a labor of love for him. There's no way this guy wanted to get it wrong. You know what I mean? So what you see is basically, and a young child actor too, nails it, does such a great job. And this story is basically concerned with the power struggle between Michael and his father, Joseph. Like, Joseph wants complete control. And you know the funny thing too, is people are wondering, I've heard people wonder, where's Janet? How come you don't see Janet? Well, I couldn't help but think of Janet Jackson while watching this because I remember the song Control. And basically that's what this movie is about. When Janet says, when I was 17, I did what people told me, did what my father said, and let my mother mold me. But now I'm all grown up. I'm in control. I like to have a lot. Control. Now I'm all grown up. Basically, that's what this movie is. It's about Michael struggling to get control of his image, control of his destiny, because he knew he was born special. Like, he had a gift and he had a feeling that he wanted to express to the world. He really felt like he could do something positive in the world. And Joseph just wanted this tight grip on him because he just saw the family, the Jacksons, as a brand together, you know, and this was supposed to be his dynasty. And Michael struggling to get out from under that is basically what this movie is about. It's not about the allegations. It's not about any of that. It's about a celebration of the man, the myth, the legend, and most definitely the music. And what really shines through here is his kindness and what he really wanted out of his life. You know, he wanted to express his love for the world through his music. He truly believed that he could change the world. And there were many scenes in the movie where you saw that, you know, and I don't have a problem with that. I really was entertained. I really enjoyed it. It brought back a lot of memories. I remember that Motown 25 special. Let me tell you, when he broke out that moonwalk, it set the world on fire. For you young people out there, you might not be able to get it, right? Just how phenomenal this man was. And by the end of the movie, when you see him performing in front of an ocean of people, you almost get dizzy looking at it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh my God, there will never be anyone bigger than Michael Jackson. With respect to everyone else out there, we've seen a lot of legends in our lifetimes, in our generations, and in previous generations, I'm sure in future generations, though future generations, it's not likely because it's so controlled now. But Michael was probably the biggest superstar that the world will ever see. And I really think that it was a good decision for them to focus on that. I almost don't want to see part two because it's going to break my heart. Like, they did such a good job capturing his kindness and his goodness. You don't want to see what the world ended up doing to Michael Jackson. You know what I mean? But the good news is that he gifted us with his music, with his example. And like I said, what I do find interesting about this phenomenon here, and let me just show you guys something else. All right, let me see if I can get this. You know me, guys. Let's see, I'll bring this down, and I'll bring this over here. This is something that I do find to be very interesting. Okay, this is what Rotten Tomatoes did. All right, you got the professional review people here with 38%. It was actually 27 at some point, and you got the audience score of 97. Okay, so clearly, as usual, there is something of a rift between the critics and the audience. Like I said, I think what the critics want, they want the jerk. They want the allegations. They want, he can't possibly be this way. I think this biopic, probably more than any other biopic that I've ever seen, is committed to uplifting the image over what is the reality. Now, do I think that Michael Jackson just walked around all the time? No, silly. No, of course not. But once again, when you meet your hero, whether it's on film or whether it's on person, you want that experience that you come to love. You know what I mean? So for the people, for the average people, this works for us. You know, this is what we want. We want a celebration of the music. We want a celebration of that image, of that man. And you've got so many people who push back against that throughout this man's life. They persecuted him so bad. This, I believe, is almost an act of defiance. I applaud Antoine Fuqua and his people for bringing it to us this way. And like I said, Jafar Jackson, man, there are awards, all right? There are Oscars and Golden Globes and all that stuff. But let me tell you something. This goes beyond that. This performance that he gave, the only way he could get adequately awarded for this is if Michael came down and presented it himself. I never saw someone work so hard, you know, to bring a character, to bring a man to life the way he has. And I believe he did his uncle proud. So let's see, on my scale, you guys know that I do a series of flushes, wherein if you get 0 flushes, that means it's great. It's a classic. No shit. You know what I mean? If you get 4 flushes or more, it means that it's full of shit. You know what I mean? So anywhere in between there lies my critique. And I will give the Michael movie, I'm going to give it 0 flushes because there's really nothing about this that offended me. Nothing about this that I found so egregious that I couldn't deal with it. You know what I mean? Like, I really do appreciate the way they presented him. Very early on in the movie, Michael is acknowledging his fans, wherein he says, they're not my fans. They're my friends. You know, he says the same thing about the animals that he has around him. They're not my pets. They're my friends. You know, he was just looking for a man. I mean, he was just looking to express love, you know, to the world. And when I was sitting there with my son just said, Dad, this movie has changed my life. You know, the way that I look at things, the way that I present myself. And I said, well, son, he did do a song called Man in the Mirror. You know, if you want to make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and make that change. You know, and this is Michael's gift to the world. So I had a great time with it. I could recommend this for sure. And you guys go out and see it and let me know how you feel about this. You know, it wasn't supposed to be about his allegations, so I don't want to hear about all of that stuff. Like I said, I don't even want to see it in the next one because I was there. You know, I saw all of that. I'm old enough to remember how they dragged that man through the mud, and I just hated it. But anyway, this movie here, great movie, very well done, an inspired performance by Jafar Jackson. Coleman Domingo as Joe Jackson was adequately terrifying. You know what I mean? That man was what I like to consider a necessary evil, okay? It was necessary because it made Michael the person that he was, the performer that he was, the perfectionist that he was, but make no mistake about it. That man was evil, and they showed it very effectively. But anyway, guys, you can get in the comment section and let me know, have you seen the movie Michael? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Tell me why. All right, guys, thank you for listening. I am The Gospel According to Mark with a C. I will catch you on the next one. Rock on.